is a long and winding road. The Giants had the best record in the game at the All-Star break, but have gone 2-10 since. It won't get any easier tonight as they face one of baseball's best, Max Scherzer. He's got an impressive resume, including a Cy Young Award, 4 All-Star games, 2 no-hitters, and a 20 strikeout performance. Scherzer takes on the Giants. Game 2 next.
A beautiful late afternoon, early evening here at 24 Willie Mays Plaza. Looking across McCovey Cove at AT&T Park. It's the Nationals first in the East, the Giants first in the West. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Welcome to Giants baseball. And hard times for the Giants. There's a bit of urgency to this ball game tonight because they have only won 2 games in the last 2 weeks. Jeff Samardzija takes on Max Scherzer. The Giants made a trade yesterday. Eduardo Nunez is here. He arrived about maybe 45 minutes before game time, so not in the lineup. Buster Posey getting a night of rest, so Trevor Brown will be catching Samardzija. The Giants have all the left-handers that they could pack in there against this tough right-hander, Max Scherzer.
Well, and keep your eye on Gregor Blanco. He's got the best numbers of any of the Giants who have faced Max Scherzer. He's 5 for 10 with a couple of doubles. But the Giants, in explaining their 2 for 10 start the second half of the season, you really can't put your finger on one thing. It has been a collapse of all 3 things. They haven't hit, especially with runners in scoring position. They haven't pitched particularly well, and they haven't caught the ball. And I think it all starts with catching the baseball. If they improve themselves defensively, the pitching gets better, and you don't have to score as many runs. So that'll be the key tonight.
They got Joe Panik back last night. Hunter Pence was here tonight, took batting practice, and he'll be in the lineup tomorrow. So little by little, they're starting to get whole again. Stay tuned. We'll take you to the CSN Bay Area studios for more on tonight's game right after these messages.
Beautiful day at 3rd and King for a possible playoff preview. Giants and Nats, part 2. Part 1 didn't go very well, but that's why they're going to play again. Hi, everybody. Dave Feldman with our Giants analyst and former All-Star Rich Aurelia. All right, Rich, the Giants have lost 10 of 12 since the All-Star break. Jeff Samardzija will be on the hill tonight. He was very good early. He has not been very good since the All-Star break. What's going on?
Well, I think this has to be a mechanical issue. I think early on we saw him nice and free and easy and with that front foot landing towards home plate. And I think recently, you know, he's got that little twist in the windup and his leg swings out maybe a little too far left, which drops the elbow, and then that elevates the ball and it loses movement on it. Listen, day to day, this guy has some of the best stuff in baseball with his movement and his different pitches that he throws up there. But he has just been, you know, bit by the long ball recently, leaving balls up in the zone, especially with 2 outs. He gets ahead in the count, he leaves the ball up, especially against the Yankees, and didn't turn out too well for him.
Giving up 14 home runs in his last 10. The Nats are a pretty good hitting team. Is that going to be problematic?
Well, we like to think not. You know, I think the key tonight, again, is to have good mechanics and keep that sinker ball down in the zone. He gets in trouble when his elbow drops and he gets under the ball and the sinker flattens out and the breaking ball doesn't have much bite. So let's see tonight if he can keep that elbow and that arm angle up.
I get to watch the game with Richie, and then Richie and I will talk about it with you immediately following the game. And then Sportsnet Central. We'll have the latest on Aldon Smith as the Raiders linebacker checks into rehab. We'll get you ready for Rio. We'll take a look at the fencing team and, of course, Nats and Giants, highlights, analysis, and reaction. That's immediately following the Giants. Third and King, Nats and Giants one more time. First pitch, 7:15 on NBC Bay Area.
Getting set for game 2 of this 4-game series with the Washington Nationals, and we're just gonna put it pretty plainly for you. Your San Francisco Giants are due. Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Amy Gutierrez, and due for a W. They need a win to stop the bleeding. Last night they got Joe Panik back. Hunter Pence, he is in the house this evening. He will start tomorrow, and the Giants got a brand new teammate who can wreak some havoc on the bases. You are looking at the arrival just a bit ago of the newest Giant, Eduardo Nunez. The Giants acquired him in a trade last night with the Twins, and general manager Bobby Evans talked about how Nunez's skill set is going to help out the orange and black.
I think his bat and speed are definitely his strength. I mean, versatility as well. I mean, he can play second, short, third, and even left field. But I think more than anything is his ability to swing the bat and to run. I mean, he's got 26 stolen bases, so that works to our advantage as well.
He was a 2016 All-Star. He led the American League with 27 stolen bases. He is here. He is available off the bench, and he is wearing jersey number 10. All right, Jeff Samardzij's going to square off against the Washington Nationals' Scherzer. It's going to be a good one to watch. John and Mike have the call. Lineups, first pitch, all coming your way.
The lineups have been exchanged at home plate. We're just moments away from getting started.
All right, time now for the key ingredients of the game, brought to you by Round Table Pizza. Now would be a great time to call your local Round Table or order online at roundtablepizza.com and have your pizza delivered to your door. So, hey, you won't have to wait and you won't have to miss a minute of the game. Number one of our key ingredients, Samardzij, control Daniel Murphy, lifetime. Murphy has had good numbers, 5 for 9 with a double and a home run. That'll be a key in tonight's ball game. Number two, Gregor Blanco, break out the whooping stick. He is 5 for 10 with a couple of doubles lifetime against Scherzer. We'll keep an eye on that one. And then break out the new guy. Eduardo Nunez got to the ballpark around 6:30 tonight. At some point, you will see him in a Giants uniform for the first time, and we hope he does well. Those are our Round Table key ingredients.
Let's take a look now at the batting order for the visiting Washington Nationals, brought to you by Audi. Visit a Bay Area Audi dealer today and get behind the wheel of the Audi model you've always wanted. It'll be Ben Revere in center field as they really loaded up on all their left-handed hitters against Samardzij. Bryce Harper, right field. Daniel Murphy at second base. Wilson Ramos, the catcher, hitting cleanup. Jason Worth in left. Then Clint Robinson at first base, hitting sixth. Anthony Rendon, third base. It is Defoe who is playing at shortstop. That's Wilmer Defoe, and Max Scherzer, the pitcher, hitting ninth.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be the right-hander Jeff Samardzij, 6'5", 225-pounder. Samardzij, 31 years old, coming into tonight's ball game, 9-6 with a 4.22 ERA. And when you take your at-bats against Samardzija, you're going to see a fastball that he'll sink and cut. It'll go anywhere from 92 to 97 miles per hour. He's also got a hard slider and a circle changeup. Lifetime against these Washington Nationals, he's 2-3 with a 3.12 ERA. And what do you say we take a look at the defense playing behind Samardzija tonight, starting in the Giants outfield from left to right. It'll be Pagan, Span, and Blanco. Crawford, Gillespie on the left side of the infield, Panic and Bell on the right side. Trevor Brown, he'll be in the squad putting down the signs as Buster Posey gets a night off.
And here we go. Ben Revere, former teammate of the Giants, Denard Span, when they both came up with the Minnesota Twins. And that is a fastball for a called strike. And Revere acquired during the offseason. He had been traded by the Phillies to Toronto last year. And he did really well. Helped the Blue Jays have the best record in baseball down the stretch, but he's not done well for the Nationals. Out into left center field. Look out, and Span in front of Pagan. That was one of those in-betweeners that you start worried about a collision. But Span apparently called off Pagan. He heard it. He got out of his way.
Well, thankfully there was communication. You can watch these guys converging on one another, and you're thinking, uh-oh, that's got a chance to be ugly. And remember, the center fielder is the captain, but the problem is you've got a former center fielder in left field, and that's Pagan. But thankfully he peeled off, and it became nothing more than a lazy out. Nobody was hurt.
So Revere is retired. Revere, who began the night hitting only .213. And here is Bryce Harper. Harper, who's been struggling, and he takes a called strike, although he hit a double and knocked in a run in the 6th inning last night. He went 1 for 4, has only 6 hits in his last 61 at bats.
And that double last night was down the left field line. It's the first time the Nationals saw him drive the ball to left field in a while. He had been pulling off the ball and really had been very, very vulnerable on the outside part of the plate. But last night he took an outside fastball at the belt and hit a bullet down the left field line. And that got everybody in that Nationals bench excited because they hadn't seen him do that in a while.
Well, he's one of those guys that he has the kind of talent that, you know, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Right to Brandon Belt. That got there in a hurry. Out number 2. Now Toyota by the numbers. Toyota's Cool Deal Summer Event is back. Hurry into your local Toyota dealer before deals melt away. Toyota, let's go places. Most doubles in the National League. Number 1 on the list is coming to the plate right now. Daniel Murphy of the Nationals. He's hit 31 doubles in a little bit less than 2/3 of the season. Just ahead of Brandon Belt of the Giants, who's tied with Anthony Rizzo of the Cubs and Corey Seager of the Dodgers on the list. Daniel Murphy right to Brandon Belt. That is a 6-pitch inning for Jeff Samardzija. Now the Giants with Span, Pagan, and Panic coming up. The Giants Batting order now sponsored by Southwest. Transparency. Low fares. Nothing to hide. For the Giants, it'll be Span center field. Pagan left field. Joe Panic just back in there yesterday from the DL, second base. Brandon Crawford in the cleanup spot at shortstop. Belt at first. Gillespie, third base, hitting sixth. Blanco in right field, and Brown. And this he's be the first right-handed hitter in there against Scherzer, the catcher, and Samardzija, the pitcher. 7 consecutive hitters to start the lineup against Scherzer that will bat left-handed against him.
Take a look at the numbers for Max Scherzer. 10-6 on the year with a 2.92 ERA. Scherzer, big guy, 6'3", 215, 32 years of age. He's in his 8th year at the big league level. And when you take your at-bats against him, you're going to see a mid to high 90s fastball. He will sink it, cut it. He's got a curveball, slider, and a changeup. He'll throw them all at you, and they all can strike you out.
Left field, and Worth one away.
Let's take a look at the Nationals defensively. Starting in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Worth, Revere, and Harper. Great arms on the corner with Worth and Harper. Not a very good arm at all in center with Revere. Defoe and Rendon left side of the infield. Murphy, Robinson right side, and Wilson Ramos. He'll be in the squad, putting down the sides.
So now Angel Pagan hitting .285 with .328 on base average. And it's 0-1.
Scherzer has never really done well against the Giants. 5 starts, 1-4 with a 6.85 ERA. They've been hard on him.
Eduardo Nunez is here, acquired from the Minnesota Twins yesterday, standing alongside Ramiro Pena, both former Yankees. So he found a buddy right away, a friendly face, a familiar face, and that's a strike, and it's 1-2. Pagan talking to Marvin Hudson about that call.
Well, I'm sure mixed emotions for Nunez, but he also picked up 20.5 games in the standings.
Off his foot.
And he came from a great city, Minneapolis, solid organization. And here a chance to get to the playoffs, a chance to be part of it. And if you're a veteran player, I mean, that's a trade that you applaud. And it took him about a half a day to get here.
Just off the outside. 2-2. You mentioned Marvin Hudson is back of the plate with Chad Fairchild at first. The crew chief is over at second base. Jim Joyce and James Hoy umpiring at third. 1 out, nobody on, no score. 3-2.
You're going to see some high strikes with Marvin Hudson, and I do believe he's a bit inconsistent down around the knees. And if you were to say, is he a hitter's umpire or a pitcher's umpire, I think you'd have to say he's a hitter's umpire.
Well, the Giants like to hold him to that. Runs have been at a premium for the Giants lately. Pagan fouling one away. Still 3-2. That might have been ball 4, and it looked like he was asking Hudson. Would that have been ball 4? (3-2). Giants faced Scherzer in Game 4 of the World Series in 2012 when he was a Tiger. And had 3 runs on the board against him in that game. And that's back to the screen. He went 6 in the 3rd innings, allowed 3 runs and 7 hits. He was a guy who originally came up with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And the Diamondbacks, they were not that high on him. And they ended up trading him. He went to Detroit. That's a little bit too high. And he took something off on that pitch. And Pagan takes a walk. That was a close one.
That's a 3-2 changeup. Like I said, he'll throw anything, anytime. Right now, it's time for our BMW Drive, the ultimate driving machine at Bay Area at BMW.com. The 2012 World Series Game 4, Giants taking on the Tigers. And that's what Buster Posey hit A 2-run homer off Max Scherzer. That's in the top of the 6th inning. That gave the Giants a 3-2 lead, and they would go on to clinch that night. That is our BMW drive.
Giants won that game in extra innings and swept that World Series 4-0 over the Tigers. There's Buster talking to Mac Williamson. Giants sent down Jared Parker today to make room on the 25-man active roster for Eduardo Nunez. Joe Paddock, his second game back from the DL. And he pulls that one foul. There's a hole open on that right side, so he'd like to try and pull one through that opening with the first baseman. Robinson right on the bag holding against Pagan.
I think he has some of the best back control on this Giants team. And he is very capable of doing that very thing. Opening here on that side, try and shoot for it. Just sort of rolling the seams around in his hand.
A ball and a strike. There's one and a double play. Murphy with a little backhand flip to Defoe to get that one started. No score after one.
For interleague play, it's Friday, August 12th through the 14th, and Sunday the 14th, we're giving away Hunter Pitts solar bobble bodies to the first 30,000 fans, courtesy of Coca-Cola. That's right, bobble bodies. Get your tickets now at sfgiants.com/tickets. And welcome back, Hunter Pitts.
Alongside Madison Bumgarner. Pence, who played his final rehab assignment game last night, caught a flight, came here today. Here is Wilson Ramos, all-star catcher for the Nationals, having quite a year as he takes a fastball from Samardzija for a strike. Look at that batting average, .333. The only hitter who qualifies to be among the league leaders in the National League with a higher batting average than that is his own teammate, Daniel Murphy. He's also hit 15 home runs. That's in there. Strike two. On to the count to Wilson Ramos. He's got 15 homers and a .386 on base average, and OPS over 900, which is outstanding. Struck him out, and he put him away in a hurry.
That's a good breaking ball. That's the type of breaking ball we saw Samardzija have in his last outing. I thought it was the best slider he'd had since the early part of the season. Just burying it on that outside corner. It almost looks like a curveball the way that he holds the grip. But if you look at the rotation, you can see the eye of the slider on it. It's big and it's quick. Strikeout number 1 for him.
Jason Worth, veteran outfielder, and it's too low for 1 ball and no strikes. Worth at one time, and probably more during his career with the Phillies, was a very big home run threat. Guy hit 25, 30 home runs a year.
Well, he's a tall hitter. He's 6'5", and he likes to get extended. But one thing he's always been able to do is maintain a flat plane with the bat from the knees to the chest. I mean, and because of that, I mean, he hits just about any location for power. Very patient hitter, knows the strike zone, not afraid to take a walk. He will definitely make a pitcher work.
37 years old now. He's been around a long time. He's had an outstanding career. 2-1. And now 3-1. He broke into the big leagues with Toronto all the way back in 2002. We remember him with the Dodgers. Got there in 2004. But it was really in Philadelphia where big things started to happen for him. He's had some health issues the last couple of seasons. Strike 2 in the inner third there, and it's 3-2. Last year he hit 12 home runs for the whole season, but only played 88 games, so he's been relatively healthy this year. This is his 94th game of this season, and he has 12 home runs. And that is ball 4. Now let's check in with Amy G.
All right, gentlemen, as you mentioned, Hunter Pence is back at AT Park. For Giants fans, all is right in the world. Now, yesterday, Bruce Bochy said it would be Hunter's legs that determined how soon he would get back to the team. And he said to media today his legs actually feel fantastic. He said he's very anxious and ready to help his team. He plays with so much emotion and energy. He wants to pour that into his teammates. And I think he wants to pour a little bit into the fans as well. He made that girl's day. Right?
Indeed. Thanks to Amy G. Here is Clint Robinson. Giants had a meeting before the game. Bruce Bochy, we don't know what all was discussed. He doesn't have many of those.
He really doesn't. That's why everybody was talking about it. It's like, what's going on with Boch?
That is going to move the runner over, and Trevor Brown throws out Clint Robinson. There was nobody covering third when the pitch was thrown. The Giants had the overshift on, and Crawford was over at shortstop, and nobody was at third base. And I think he was trying to exploit that, but the ball went out in front of the plate instead of toward third.
You know, anytime a big, strong first baseman who's got history against you bunts, he's doing you a favor.
Anthony Rendon now runner in scoring position. That one snaps in there for a called strike. The official score does give Clint Robinson credit for a sacrifice on that, although the official score has it within his discretion to decide what the intent of the hitter was. I'm thinking the intent of the hitter was to bunt it toward third for a base hit.
Yeah, you can't. First baseman like that, they're not up there bunting a sacrifice. He's trying to sneak attack that side of the defense that is wide open to him.
Robinson last year was an excellent player for the Nationals. That's into the hole. Crawford's got a long throw. Look at that. The great arm to end the inning. One man left. Crawford coming up.
The new Ford F-150 is the official truck of Madison Bumgarner. It's built Ford tough. Learn more at your CaliforniaFord.com. May 11, 2016. That's right, this year, Tigers Nationals Max Scherzer on the hill. He ties a major league record with 20 strikeouts. Fourth pitcher all-time with 20. He joins Roger Clemens, Kerry Wood, and Randy Johnson. 20 strikeouts. And he had a chance to break it. And he could not do it, but hey, 20, that puts you in pretty good company.
Roger Clemens got 20 back in 1986 against the Mariners, and again in 96 against the Tigers. Kerry Wood, of course, in 98 for the Cubs. And Randy Johnson also did it. Pretty good names on that list.
That's a lot of strikeouts.
Brandon Crawford with a count of 1 ball and no strikes. Giants RBI leader. That's in there for a called strike.
I mean, 20 strikeouts, that's like three starts for a normal human being. For Scherzer to get it all done in one game.
That's 6 2/3 innings worth of outs. Yes. Just on strikeouts.
I mean, we always talk about a starting pitcher's job is to go out and give the bullpen a night off, eat innings up, but for Scherzer, he gave the defense a night off.
Well, he's had 10 strikeouts or more in 8 of his starts this year, including that 20 strikeout game back on May the 11th, and that was against his old team, the Tigers. And the change up in the dirt. 2-2 the count.
Most strikeouts per 9 innings in the National League this year. Jose Fernandez on top of the heap with 13.2. Scherzer in second. Robbie Ray, Noah Syndergaard, and Steven Strasburg round out the top 5.
Came back at him with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Stays alive. 2-2.
Now you can see from behind the type of movement that Scherzer has, and he's got kind of a funky delivery. Looks like he's got push in his delivery, and the ball really gets on you quick. And to have a nice command of 4 pitches that he can strike you out with all of them, that's why he gets the strikeout totals he gets.
3-2. Crawford has not faced him that often. He's had 5 official at bats against Scherzer: a single, a double, and a homer. 3 for 5 plus a walk. That is out of play off the left field line. 3-2. Giants have 5 different hitters on their current roster who have hit home runs against Scherzer, but Hunter Pence is one of them. He's not yet activated. Posey is one of them in that World Series, and he's not in the lineup tonight. Plus Span. Fielded cleanly by Defoe, and that's all. Crawford hit that one very hard, but right to the shortstop.
Well, that's baseball. You do everything right as a hitter, hit the ball right on the screws, and you get a big league hang with it.
Now Brandon Belt, 284 average, 11 homers, 49 driven in, 393 on base percentage. Belt had a single and a walk, scored a run in the 9th inning last night. Ball 1. Dodgers are playing at home against Arizona. No score there in the last of the 2nd inning. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Belt. That's Zach Godley, the rookie right-hander, going for Arizona, and Kenta Maeda, the veteran from the Japanese leagues, going for LA. Now the Nats put on the full overshift for Brandon Belt. Nobody at third base. You see how they've shifted there. And that's back into the 2nd deck, off to the left. 1-2. Giants lead is now 2 games over LA. The Dodgers have, without their great ace Clayton Kershaw, played extremely well for about 4 weeks. Belt into that defense and caught by Daniel Murphy.
Top spin liner. He's got to go down to the shoe tops to gather it in. I would say gracefully, but I don't think that would be. Well, I just don't think that would be graceful.
Even though we didn't actually hear it, I still felt like I heard.
Yeah.
Oh.
That looked painful.
2 down, nobody on. Connor Gillespie over the outside for a strike. Gillespie has only 3 hits in 18 career at bats against Scherzer, but of those 3 hits, he's had a double and a homer. A ball and a strike tomorrow. And Sunday, day games here. 1:05 tomorrow. Jake Peavy. And a lot of people expect the Nationals will bring up Reynaldo Perez from the minor leagues to make the start for them tomorrow. But right now they're listing to be determined for their starter. And then Sunday at 1:05, Matt Cain against Gio Gonzalez. And then the Giants hit the road for a while, a long while, back to the East Coast again. That was over, but low. 3-1. Just when we kind of get used to seeing those really low pitches called strikes by some umpires, then all of a sudden we get an umpire who thinks they're too low.
I think the most consistent part of Marvin Hudson's strike zone is at the belt, and you'll see some more high strikes with him than other umpires. But down around the knees, it's kind of a coin toss. And the inconsistency, it can be frustrating at times. And he's also an umpire that he doesn't really like to ring guys up. Close pitches often go by way of the hitters.
3-2 to Gillespie. And another foul out of play. 97 miles an hour with that fastball from Scherzer.
Got a man making a play. No glove, mind you. See, if you bring your glove, you're not hurting your hand.
He's putting on a brave smiling face on that, but you can see him flexing that hand. That's into left center field. That's into the gap. Worth digs it out. A double for Connor Gillespie.
Nice opposite field, 2-strike and 2-out at bat. And when you're backspinning balls through the opposite gap, you know you've got a good swing. Good solid front side. Head stays down. Clips this ball, and it gets carried. You can see it right through the gap. Worth had never had a chance. So not only does he put himself in scoring position here with 2 outs, but it also is going to get more pitches out of Scherzer, and it's kind of the golden eye for the Giants. Get some work out of Scherzer. Get him out of the game early.
So out of 4 career hits for him against Scherzer, 2 doubles and a homer now. And Blanco, and you pointed this out at the start of the telecast, Blanco has caused some trouble against Scherzer. He's got a .500 average, 5 hits, 10 at bats, 2 of them doubles. He's also walked against him once. That's a called strike. Dodgers got a couple of runs in the 2nd inning against Zach Godley, so they have a 2-0 lead. Jock Peterson, Bay Area native, hit a 2-run double. Oh, and 2.
Good curveball, explosive. Scherzer, 2 types of breaking ball. The curveball you just saw, he's got a slider. Not often do you see a guy that has true swing and miss 4 pitches, and Scherzer is that guy.
That's a base hit. Gillespie's going to score easily. Blanco after the big turn, and Harper gets it back in, and Blanco hits the brakes. But he has knocked in the first run of the day. 1-0 Giants.
The ownage is ownage. And Blanco does it in a 2-strike, 2-out situation, and that's when it hurts a pitcher most. Little 2-seam fastball out over the plate. Blanco stays down nicely through it. And with a 2-out jump, an easy score for Gillespie.
So it's the 2-out RBI hit, which is always great. Trevor Brown with Blanco running. The throw on a bounce. Safe. Murphy handled the bounce and put the tag on nicely. And I'm sure the Nationals are checking that in the video room.
Now the bad part about a bounce going into a middle infielder on a steal attempt is that he has to raise his glove up to catch the ball, and in doing so he provides a little window of opportunity.
Let's go, bro.
And there's the window, and he just gets underneath the glove. They will not contest that.
It is the 6th steal for Gregor Blanco. So now a base hit could mean another run. You see that career record of success for Blanco against Scherzer. That ball is hit deep into center, but Revere's got plenty of room, and the inning is over. The Giants have a 1-0 lead after 2. Play of the game. We go back to Game 5 of the 2002 World Series, and Darren Baker goes out to retrieve the bat, and with other runners still running, JT Snow scored as he retrieved Darren Baker. Darren was 3 years old at the time. Kenny Lofton hit a 2-run triple there, and Kenny Lofton was Darren Baker's favorite player, and for him there was one thing to do: get Kenny Lofton's bat
focused
and make sure that it is safe.
And there's Darren Baker today. He's going to start next year at Cal. He's going to play baseball at Cal.
He's 17 years old now.
Well, remember, he was named after Darren Lewis, Giants center fielder, back when Dusty Baker was manager. First year at '93, Darren Lewis out, and they became great friends. And Darren Baker, named after Darren Lewis, who went to Cal. So I think Darren Lewis has been working on Darren Baker for a long time.
Wilmer Defoe takes a call strike. The play of the game brought to you by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. It takes comfort, storage, and technology to the next level, making Pacifica the new benchmark of minivans. That's a called strike, and it's 0-2.
Knee-high command, and Samardzija has at times struggled with that, but not tonight. He has established the knees, and this is really a carryover from his last start. He had commanded the low part of the strike zone beautifully.
1-2 the count. No swing there on the appeal. Samardzija started at Yankee Stadium last time out and had 5 2/3 strong innings, and all of a sudden the Yankees put a string of base hits together, and he could not end the 6th inning. Picks it up, the throw in time. Well done by the excellent athlete Jeff Samardzija.
You're right. The former All-American wide receiver at Notre Dame looked quite athletic on that play. There aren't many guys in the league that are going to make that play look that easy.
I mean, how often do you see a pitcher take the ball out of his glove and make a backhanded flip like a second baseman?
Not often. Make underhand flips, but not a backhand.
Yeah, underhand you see. Max Scherzer, ball 1 the count to him. Scherzer, 5 hits, 43 at bats, a 116 average. He does have a double and 3 runs batted in. 1-0 the Giants lead. We're in the 3rd inning. Right in there. Ball 1 strike.
There's the lovely Martha and the bathtub. Look like they're getting the guns ready to start firing.
A comebacker. 2 down.
Well, Giants fans, next time you want to grab Giant seats, get the StubHub app. Not only will you find seats you love, whatever you want, you can find the best seat for your buck when you sort by best value. Get to StubHub app today.
I like your frame of reference on those 2 boats facing one another, like galleons from the Spanish and British armadas getting ready to fire on one another. Although I'm sure that's not about to happen here. Out in the Cove, it's all in good fun. Well, I don't know.
It all started with some teasing. And then it escalated into dropping the cannon and shooting the salvos.
Well, if one of those boats has a cannon on it, now that will be a big story. 2-0 the count to the leadoff man, Ben Revere. Wait, is that Leo back there? Guy with the mustache?
Yeah, it's DiCaprio. There he is.
What was that movie? The Wall Street movie where he played one of the guys who was making a fortune on Wall Street.
Yeah, I saw the movie. I can't remember the name.
Wolf. The Wolf of Wall Street?
Wolf of Wall Street. There's the wolf. Dude, you got a hat like mine? Yeah, I think so.
Oh, he's just a DiCaprio wannabe.
Aren't we all?
2-1 the count. 3-1 now to Revere. Revere has always been a guy who does not walk very often. This year he's got a 261 on base average. But he'd like to get back in there. They've been going with that rookie Trey Turner quite a bit in center field lately. With Revere hitting only .213 coming to this game. He's 0 for 1 in the game. Orange Friday. Oh, I think she got a sore knuckle there.
Well, she's still smiling, so it's not too sore.
And that's a walk.
Well, that's a mistake to a base stealer. This is very quickly going to become a base stealing situation for Revere, who's got 10 on the year.
We'll be seeing some sailboats coming into the Cove. Tonight is the Friday night beer can regatta at the South Beach Yacht Club. A lot of sailboats out in the bay. The finish line is the entrance to McCovey Cove. There's the Avalon. There's some pretty good winds out there for the beer can regatta tonight. Bryce Harper on the outside. Now, you're Revere. Ordinarily, with the number 2 hitter up there, you'd expect to see him taken off here. But what about when the number 2 hitter is Bryce Harper with all of his power? You think that's makes it less likely that he'll take off?
Well, you're right. You make a point, and he is in scoring position with a guy that's got 20 home runs, but he's also in a slump.
Harper lined one right to Belt his first time. He's 0 for 1 in the game. And Revere back to the bag. Revere's he's not a big guy. He's 5 feet 9 inches tall. I asked Denard Span about him because they came up both through the Twins farm system and into the big leagues. He said Revere's always been faster than him. It's foul off to the left into the second deck.
That's the side of the plate that's really been causing fits for Bryce Harper. The pitch that has movement running away from him on the outside corner. And try as he might, I mean, he knows what he's doing wrong. He's pulling off the ball. The front side is clearing. And he's really not giving himself to hit that outside pitch with power unless you leave it up.
2 strikes the count with 2 down, runner at first. Off the inside at 96. With some movement coming back to the plate. 1-2.
Guy pulls off. He really doesn't have much coverage down with the fastball away. He's going to beat you away. He's going to beat you up. And that's what his hit was last night that he went down to left field with. It was up above the belt.
Revere again back to the bag with a dive. Clouds rolling in through the Golden Gate and over the hills of the peninsula. Some sunset subdued by the cloudiness. 1-2 the count. Big rip back to the screen.
That was a mistake of location. That was the side of the plate that Trevor Brown initially called the fastball on. Then they shook off about 3 or 4 signs to get to the fastball away, which Samardzija wanted to throw. They set the target away, and look where this ball comes. That's a mistake middle in, and that, when a guy is pulling off, is the one spot he can hurt you on.
Samardzija to Harper. Daniel Murphy on deck with 2 down. And Revere back to the bag.
Those throwers are being called by Bochy and the Giants bench.
So now we talked about you've got a guy who can hit a home run, a very capable home run hitter at the plate. But when you get to 2 strikes, does it become more likely that Revere might take off now?
Well, because you see more slower pitches on the 2-strike count.
Like that one.
Like that.
2-2.
I'm really surprised he hasn't gone by now, but the point you initially made about the power that Harper has in the batter's box will keep a base stealer sort of anchored to first base. They don't want to get thrown out, take the bat out of his hands with a runner score or a runner on base.
There he goes. And timeout was called. So he'll have to turn around and go back. He took off. A pitch was thrown. None of it counted. I think a little frustrating for Dusty Baker. And maybe for Ben Revere too.
Dusty Baker knows he had a good jump.
But it looked to me like it was Harper who actually called for timeout. So 2-2 the count. Revere was running on that previous non-pitch, as it turned out. Not running here. Foul tip off the glove of Harper. That pitch came in 97 miles an hour.
Well, he was right on it. Fouls this ball straight back, and I mean that location right there is that's T-ball location. That's right out over the middle plate. You've got to think corner. I mean, it's 2-2 count. He has at least one pitch to throw to his location. You don't have to just challenge over the middle of the plate.
There goes Revere. Joe Panic. Inning over. 1-0 Giants. Samardzija coming up. Then the top of the order. Span and Pagan. Focus. X1 will change the way you experience TV only from Xfinity. The right-handed pitcher Phil Bickford moved up from the Augusta Green Jackets to the San Jose Giants in the High A California League, and he's had just about equal success in both leagues. And Jeff Samardzija takes a called strike. 2.70 ERA at Augusta, 2.73 at San Jose, and fewer starts. Samardzija had a big rip, fouling it back and out of play against Scherzer. He was an 18th overall pick in the first round of the 2015 draft. That was last year's draft. Phil Bickford, he's 21 years old, 6 feet 4 inches tall. That's a name to remember as he makes his way through the Giants farm system as Samardzija goes down looking.
First strikeout of the night for Max Scherzer. The thing too about Bickford's stats is his whip. His walks and hits combined per innings pitch, he's right at 1, and that's what's impressive. I think the most impressive thing about all his numbers. When you have a whip at 1, you're doing the job.
Well, some think that he's maybe right now the top starting pitching prospect in the Giants system. There's a called strike to Span. The Giants traded a prospect, a left-handed starter, Adalberto Mejia, to the Twins to get Eduardo Nunez yesterday. 1-1 the count to Span. Span has not had a hit yet against his old team. 0 for 4 with a walk last night, and he flied out to left his first time this evening. Along the left field line and into the crowd, out of play. A ball and 2 strikes. Bernard Span, he said one of the greatest disappointments, and he didn't really like talking about it because it was such a big disappointment, was that 18-inning game. The Giants beat the Nationals in Game 2 of the division series the year before last, 2014. That hits the bag over the head of Robinson. And I don't think Span knew where it was at first. Belatedly, he started to take off towards second when he saw Robinson still racing after it and Harper coming in.
That's a great play right there by Bryce Harper. I mean, it was Harper who came in and wound up fielding this ball. And here's the break you're talking about, hits the bag. I mean, Robinson's there to make the play. It probably been an easy backhander. But watch Harper come out of right field, and this is what prevented the double. Harper closes fast on this. He's got a great arm, and I think Denard Span's going to respect that.
So that's great hustle by Bryce Harper.
It really is.
So Span is aboard, his first hit of the series, and here is Angel Pagan, who walked in the first inning. Hold open on the right side with Robinson playing on the bag with Span. Called a strike.
Really not much of an exaggeration defensively there. You see the third baseman Rondon taking away the bunt. They do pull in all the outfielders about 3 or 4 steps from normal depth, so it is sort of a shallow set.
Changed up on him, and Pagan now in the hole 0-2.
Scherzer not an easy guy to steal off him. He's quick out of the stretch. And Wilson Ramos, the catcher for the Nationals, he's got a very good arm.
One to nothing. The Giants are leading. 1 out. And Denard Span, the runner at first. Big hole open on the right side of the infield.
You want a change up here.
That's a base hit. Right over the head and into the alleyway. Pagan's going to test Harper. The throw in. Not in time. Span at third. A double by Pagan. Right over the head of Daniel Murphy.
And that wasn't a hanger either. He went down and got the changeup. It was right down there below the knees. And I mean below the knees. And look at the location, down and away. Not a hanger at all. Exceptional 2-strike hitting from Pagan. Span's got to freeze, make sure that line drive gets through. You see Daniel Murphy trying to deke him with a throw. An easy take at third, no chance to score. But good hustle from Pagan. He puts himself at second base.
So here is Joe Panik. The middle infield backed up. So is the first baseman. Ground ball to one of those middle infielders especially. Could well get a run home with the speedy Denard Span at third. 0-1 to count to Joe Panik, who grounded into a double play to end the first inning.
And Scherzer right in the strikeout mode here. Trying to get this out himself.
On 2.
2 impressive pitches to get the 0-2 advantage quickly. Breaking ball, hard fastball at 96 across the letters. And that'll make Panik take a little bit of a walk. He knows all he's got to do to score a run is put a ball in play in the middle of the infield on the ground.
Wanting to put the ball in play against one of the top strikeout pitchers in the game. And now a 2-strike count. And then back up there again with a fastball foul.
97. We've seen Scherzer reach back and go 98, 99. I mean, he's got some reach back velocity. And right now he's digging deep.
This is the first game in which Panik has ever played against Max Scherzer. 0-2 the count. Runners at second and third, 1 out. And that fastball right out over the plate, more around the belt.
Yeah, that's a location mistake. I mean, you want to get the strikeout, but you have to be smart in an 0-2 count. You can't just throw stuff out over the middle of the plate. Easy area to defend. You should be thinking in the dirt, something above the letters, stay out of the strike zone. Scherzer thought he had it. Backdoor little slider. They set the target in the inside corner. I mean, that's right there. If he catches that between the knees, he probably gets it.
1-2 now. Runners at second and third, 1 out. The bloop, and that will not get anybody home. Just as good as a strikeout. Grabbed by Rendon. So now the Giants' leading RBI producer, Brandon Crawford, with 2 runners in scoring position. Crawford hit one very hard, but right to the shortstop. Kind of short hopped Defoe at shortstop back in the second inning. One to nothing Giants. Giants' first at bat tonight with a runner in scoring position resulted in an RBI single off the bat of Gregor Blanco. Now Crawford trying to pick up a couple of teammates here. Out over the plate, down around the knees, back to the screen.
98-mile-an-hour challenge, and he was on it. And you think of these opportunities as trying to pick up your teammate opportunities. Trying to pick up Joe Panik, could not get that runner in with less than 2 outs. Now with 2 outs, a base hitter erases that bad memory.
And that's back out of play. Into the off-speed breaking ball at 79 miles an hour. After the 98-mile-an-hour fastball in the first pitch, it's 0-2.
Yeah, that's quite a difference between velocities. Plus, the 79-mile-an-hour curveball had some pretty good snap and break to it. There's a reason why guys strike out 20 in a game. They've got good stuff, and Scherzer's got good stuff.
You see the pitches that he throws and the average speeds of those pitches. 0-2 the count. Got right in the hands. Robinson will take it himself. Inning over. Well, Scherzer had to work awfully hard. A 19-pitch inning, but he got through it. This 18-inning game ended up in the Giants' favor. Game 2 of the division series, and Brandon Belt's home run against Tanner Roark, and it was a shot. Second deck, and that broke the tie in the 18th inning. And the Giants went on to win it to take a 2-0 lead. Bernard Span was 0 for 8 in that game, and only 2 for 19 in that series. And there were a lot of Nationals who had some sad-looking numbers in that series. And the Giants won it 3-1. Deepest Drive brought to you by the California Academy of Sciences. Discover Twilight Zone. Deep Reefs revealed, a new aquarium exhibit at the California Academy of Sciences that explores the ocean's mysterious deep coral reefs. To learn more and purchase tickets, visit calacademy.org. Strike one to Daniel Murphy, who grounded out to first his first time, leading the league in hitting. And there's that low strike that's called a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. And this guy, he was always considered a good hitter with the Mets. And then he had this great postseason, and it's like carried over to this season. He's become a superstar this year. He's hitting home runs, he's knocking in runs, hitting for average. He's doing it all out there.
I think he has one of the best lower body foundations of any hitter in the National League. Just a great balance, great power. And you know, you shake hands with this guy and you get it real quick. I mean, he is a strong-handed hitter, but everything about his setup is absolutely solid as can be.
The changeup is low, 2-2.
Got a good eye. He knows the strike zone.
Last year he hit 14 home runs for the Mets, and that was the most home runs he had ever hit in a single season in his career, a .281 average. Now he's hitting .350. He's got 20 home runs and 75 batted in. That's a full count, 3-2. He also last year hit 7 home runs in the Division Series and League Championship Series. In 9 games in those 2 series, hit 7 home runs with 11 RBIs. And that spectacular production sort of carried over. Pagan, 1 away. 1 out in the 4th. 1-0 Giants leading. Let's check in with Amy G.
All right, gentlemen, a couple of updates for fans. Matt Duffy ran the bases today for the 2nd day in a row, and he ran pain-free. He's been dealing with an Achilles issue. He told me he feels great, and he is going to begin a rehab on Sunday. He's going to join the River Cats. Already with the River Cats today, gentlemen. Reliever Corey Guerin on the DL with a shoulder strain, and he joined the River Cats today and is looking to get back quickly, gentlemen.
All right, Amy, and good news. Here is Wilson Ramos, the catcher. Ramos struck out his first time, and the count is 0-1 with Worth on deck.
Well, that is good news, Amy.
There's Eduardo Nunez, arrived here about 6:30 this evening. Acquired yesterday from the Minnesota Twins. Bruce Bochy was saying that with Matt Duffy going out in the rehab, the Giants are thinking of taking him back or having him come back east, not with the Giants, but to play back east while they're in the East Coast, in case that ball is out into right center field into the gap. And Ramos, who does not have much speed, and even so will easily have a double on that one. Good work by Span to cut that ball off. Nunez earlier this evening, Giants director of travel Brett Alexander went over to SFO to pick him up, meet him when he got here, and showed him the way to his new home clubhouse. So Eduardo Nunez, he'll wear number 10, is wearing number 10. He talks to Johnny Cueto, who's on his right, and Ramiro Pena, a former teammate of his with the Yankees, on the left, on his left. Jason Worth, runner at second, 1 out. Wow, that looked pretty good.
Well, it's a coin toss down around the knees, and it's the one weakness I think that Marvin Hudson's strike zone has. It's inconsistent down low. Some you get, some you don't get, and it frustrates not only the pitcher, but it frustrates the hitter as well.
Two 2-0. The left-handed hitting Clint Robinson is on deck. Fog starting to settle in above AT&T Park. We can see it reflecting in the lights out there in center field now. Giants ahead 1-0. They scored in the second inning, a 2-out double by Gillespie. Blanco singled him home. in there for a strike. 2-1 now. There you see the reflection off the center field lights of the, you don't call it fog, what do you call it? The marine layer.
The marine layer. But fog. It fits.
Jason Worth walked his first time. Samardzija walked a couple already. There you see some ships out in the anchor basin. Now 3-1. This is the second time in the game the Nationals have gotten a runner into scoring position. Worth got to second with 2 down in the second, but Rendon grounded out to end that inning. Now here's Worth trying to knock Ramos in. 3-1. And he threw in the breaking ball. Strike 2. Dodgers still lead Arizona 2-0 in the last of the 4th inning down in LA. Colorado beat the Mets 6-1. Colorado's been playing some very strong baseball lately.
Yeah, they're a good team.
Off the mask of Trevor Brown, and that staggered him. He'll get a few moments to try and shake that off.
See where it gets him. Challenge fastball right in the face of that face mask. Buster paying close attention. Eli Whiteside right next to Buster, a former catcher, also paying close attention.
3-2 to Worth. Ramos at second. That's along the right field line, foul. And into the crowd. Blanco didn't take anything for granted on that one. He just kept going on it all the way into foul ground. He knows that sometimes the winds will blow a ball along the right field line back toward the field. So just in case he went over, but that was well back out of play. 3-2. Battle continues here. And that breaking ball just kind of sat right over the middle of the plate, down, pulled foul.
Well, there's our ball dude on the first base side tonight, and that is Billy Hayes' brother. That's Brian Hayes, who surprised his brother. Billy Hayes did not know that his brother was going to be here being a ball dude. Here's Billy.
Does he have the great hands the way Bill Hayes has?
Sweet hands Billy Hayes? I don't know.
3-2. That's a base hit. Ramos is going to be waved. The throw by Blanco over the cutoff man, and he allows Worth to go to second. And it was a bad throw to begin with. A bad throw in many different ways. The Nationals have tied it up.
That's a mental mistake, and that's a mistake you cannot make, because now you put a runner in scoring position because you overthrew the cutoff man. He just kind of laid back on this ball. Didn't look like there was urgency behind the play, and then to overthrow the cutoff man, that's just something you cannot do. Not against a team that's in first place like the Nationals.
I think, you know, he's from Venezuela. Ramos is from Venezuela. I think they know each other well. And the last thing in the world he thought was that Ramos was going to try to score on that ball. And you could see it the way he went after, because he did not look like a guy who had any concerns in the world about having to make a play on Ramos. But Ramos kept on going. So not only does that allow Worth to go into scoring position, but it takes away the ground ball double play possibility. With quite an at bat by Jason Worth, and he finally got the job done. 1-1 here in the 4th inning. And Robinson with a count of 1-1 now. Samardzij's already thrown 20 pitches in this inning. Worth was up there for a long time.
Well, it is amazing. You have a 12 or a 13 pitch war with a guy, and the damage is done, regardless of what he winds up doing, because of the 13 pitches he got out of you. And in the era of the pitch count, I mean, it's crushing.
Crawford almost right up the middle for this big left-handed swinger. There's Span over in medium left center. And Worth was halfway, so he'll go back to second. As Robinson is retired. 2 down, and Rendon will come up. Dodgers, meanwhile, have a 3-0 lead at the end of 4. Back of Kenta Maeda over Arizona. Going to the 5th inning there.
Giants defend. They pinch the gaps. Give Rendon the left field line.
Rendon grounded out to short his first time. Blew that one right by him.
A 94-mile-an-hour challenge right out of bed. And that's exactly what Rendon was up there looking for. I mean, he was up there sitting on a high mistake fastball. Guy blows it right by you, especially when you're looking for it. Step out a bit and have a word with yourself.
A ball and a strike. A very long inning for that man, Jeff Samardzij. This next pitch will be his 25th pitch of the inning. And this is 1 inning after he had a 20-pitch 3rd inning. Nationals are really making him work hard. A run is in, a runner at second. Blanco hurrying back. And he's got it. Right between the 3rd and 4th archways. 1-1. Brandon Belt coming up. McDonald's. Get great deals at McDonald's with the McD app. Download the McD app on your smartphone and get great deals at participating Greater Bay Area McDonald's. Visit McDapp.com. One to one now. The Nationals tying the game on a Ramos one-out double and Worth's subsequent single to knock him in. 0-1 to Brandon Belt, who lined out to the second baseman his first time.
Yeah, all the Giraffe fans.
A changeup for a called strike. And Belt didn't think so. One and two, too high.
Good pitch, though, just to elevate the fastball. He obviously established the fastball in the first pitch of this at bat when he threw one right by Belt.
Two and two.
One pitch above the strike zone, one pitch below the strike zone. Two nice takes from Brandon Belt. Giants, thus far in this game, have really done a nice job of getting pitches out of Max Scherzer.
Bryce Harper. One away.
Well, interleague play is back as the Giants take on the Baltimore Orioles Friday, August 12th to the 14th. And you can come out to the ballpark early on Saturday the 13th as we will honor Giants Hall of Famer Gaylord Perry. The statue unveiling ceremony begins at 1 p.m. at the 2nd and King Street gate. First 20,000 fans will receive a replica Perry statue courtesy of Coca-Cola. Get your tickets now at sfgiants.com/tickets.
Gaylord, a Hall of Famer, and he will take his place with several Giants Hall of Famers for whom statues have been erected around and about AT&T Park. Some of the retired numbers out there. Gaylord, number 36. 2-0 the count. McCovey, number 44. Cepeda, number 30. Marichal, number 27. Mays, number 24. Number 20, Monty Irvin. Base hit. Connor Gillespie with his second straight hit. He hit a double to left center his first time. Clint Robinson was playing him almost right along the foul line there, and Gillespie was able to exploit that.
Playing in the pull. And see how close to the line Robinson, the first baseman, was, and he never took one step to his right.
So Gillespie 2 for 2 in the game. He's lifted his batting average up over 270 now. Here is Gregor Blanco. He singled home the Giants run, and he's the guy who's had a lot of success against Scherzer. Quickly the count 0-1. 6 hits and 11 at bats plus a walk for Blanco on his resume against Max Scherzer. By the way, number 11 out there, we were looking at all those Giant retired numbers, Hall of Famers. Number 11, Carl Hubble, King Carl.
King Carl.
He once won 24 consecutive games. That's back out of play.
And the big swing of the bat for the Giants tonight was a second inning 2-out, 2-strike knock from Gregor Blanco. And he would knock in Connor Gillespie, and that's how the Giants got on the board. 6 for 11 lifetime. Blanco against Scherzer.
On to the count to Gregor and Gillespie. Back to first. That was just a lob throw. Gillespie has 1 steal in 2 tries this year. Robinson on the bag with him at first base. And he chased down out of the strike zone.
Good hard slider. And that's the first swing in this strike 3 and second strike out of the night from Scherzer. That's absolutely perfect pitch. And high velocity, that pitch soared at 89. That's a fast breaking ball. That used to be the average fastball. Back in the 80s, that was the average big league fastball, 89. Now it's just a little under 93.
Trevor Brown flied out deep to center his first time. And it's 0-1. 1-1 the score here in the fourth inning. Max Scherzer. This next pitch will be his 70th in these first 4 innings. He had a 24-pitch second inning and a 19-pitch third inning. Giants have been extending him. But now quickly 0-2, and he's got a chance for a fairly quick, by comparison, a quick fourth inning. Jeff Samardzija on deck. Giants have 5 hits in these first 4 innings against Scherzer. And that's out of play.
Yeah, he just really doesn't really concern himself with a lot of real accurate location on the 0-2 counts. He's coming right at the Giants. That's another one that was in the strike zone. I mean, that's a guy that believes in his fastball, plain and simple.
Well, when you look at his numbers are just magnificent. So tough to hit. Huge strikeout numbers, but he gives up a lot of home runs. Wow. He got him to chase. That did not go well for Trevor Brown. We head to the 5th inning. It is 1-1. PG&E. PG&E provides career opportunities for veterans and women through its Power Pathway Workforce Development Program. Learn more at pgne.com/Power Pathway. PG&E together, building a better California. That website again is pge.com/Power Pathway. Washington 1-run 2 hits. The Giants 1-run 5 hits as we start the 5th inning. Both pitchers have had to work hard early on. 65 pitches in 4 innings thrown by Samardzija. 72 pitches thrown by Scherzer. And here's Defoe, just up a couple of days ago from the minor leagues. He was hitting 255 in Double-A ball when they brought him up, getting Danny Espinosa a night off. Today they brought up a young catcher. Look out. Well, he's quick.
Hey, rookie, welcome to the big leagues. Good heavens. Trying to throw an inside strike and almost puts it in his ear.
And he follows that up with a base hit. And
Pagan cuts it off, but Defoe heading for second. And he makes it. A double.
Well, he just told you a little bit about himself and what he's made of. He got right back in there after having one thrown up around the chin, and he hit a nice opposite field line drive over the head of Crawford. And once this guy gets going, there's the pitch between the belt and the letters that's the easiest to defend. And once he saw an opportunity, and with his speed, I mean, it was an easy take a second. I don't know if there was much more than Angel Pagan could do. I mean, he made a nice play. Just too much speed here from Defoe.
Defoe got up late last year and had 11 at bats and had 2 hits. This is his first extra base hit in the big leagues. Wilmer Defoe out of the Dominican Republic was hitting .255 in Double-A when they brought him up 2 days ago.
One situation now for Scherzer, should go down the third base side.
And it does. Well done. He's thrown out by Gillespie. So Defoe to third base with 1 out.
It's a great bunt. All right, time for our best hair in the game, brought to you by Supercuts, where every haircut ends with a refreshing hot towel finish, so you leave that place feeling clean, sharp, and ready to go. So save time. Check in online with the mobile app or at supercuts.com. That's a supercut.
Here is Ben Revere. The Giants had the infield in. Revere has flied out to left center and walked. No, called that ball 1.
I'd like to know if that was up or away in the eye of Marvin Hudson, the plate umpire. That's something that a catcher will find out. Casual conversation during the game.
Revere hitting .212 for the year.
Samardzija going to try and strike him out.
Revere has struck out in only 10% of his at bats. 250 official at bats, 25 strikeouts. So he's not that easy to strike out. Infield in all the way around. That's a base hit. And the Nationals have gone ahead 2-1. And the Nationals have been so efficient in this series with runners in scoring position. They get somebody out there, whack, they knock him in.
Well, Defoe, the hero's welcome. And a guy in that Nationals dugout that didn't appreciate the effort from that young hitter, getting knocked down and then coming up his next pitch and hitting a double. And now he feels like he's a big leaguer, and he should. It was a good effort.
Last night's game, the Nationals' first 3 at bats they had as a team, they got base hits all 3 times with a runner in scoring position in their 3-run second inning rally against Johnny Cueto. And now they've had 2 hits in 3 such at bats in this game. Bryce Harper has lined out to first and grounded out to second. And you got a base stealing threat. There he goes. Big jump. And I don't think it would have mattered. The ball was dropped by Trevor Brown, and Revere easily steals it. His 11th steal this year.
Samardzija is not a guy that is slow out of the stretch either. I mean, he's under the average time, meaning he's faster than what the average time would be. Just not a very good pitch to throw off. If you're Trevor Brown, the ball in the dirt, he couldn't get at the glove.
So another runner in scoring position. A spin move there by Samardzija. Bryce Harper, who had the breakout year that people had been expecting last year,
And that curve is off the outside. 2-0. And then he had the huge start this year. And people thought, oh man, he's going to hit 50 something this year. But then he cooled off. And lately he has cooled off again. 0 for 2 tonight. And 6 for his last 63. Back out of play. 2-1.
You know, and when you're in a slump, you get a good pitch to hit, you foul it off. Or if you do hit it, you pull it foul. That's kind of where he's at right now. When he's hot, you just don't see him miss fastball challenges in the middle of the strike zone. Just doesn't miss them.
Last year he hit .330, 42 homers, 38 doubles. His OPS 1109. Pagan along the line. Revere will go back to second. So Harper, and he got ahead of the count. As you pointed out, this is not what they're used to seeing happen with Bryce Harper. As Dave Righetti goes out to the mound now with Daniel Murphy, the former Met, who's become a superstar this year as a national.
Yeah, I think this conversation is, if they decide to pitch to Murphy, is, you know, just an encouragement to not throw a strike to this guy.
And this was something that's not allowed. Murphy, after the new pitcher came in, Murphy was in the dugout and the new pitcher warmed up, and then Murphy came out of the dugout and went to the mound. And Boat said he came out and said, hey, you can't allow that. That's because he didn't see any signals from the umpires. And the umpires told him, oh yeah, we're counting that as a visit. So next time they come out, they'll have to remove him from the game. That ball is smoked out of the Death Valley. Blanco back, still back, off the top of the wall, and it shoots right on by him. So Revere scores easily, and Murphy will trot into third with a triple.
Boy, that's a mistake. A guy who is that locked in, and clearly the best hitter on his team, with an open base, to give him a hittable pitch like this. And really, he's lucky he didn't get out of here. I mean, that's 2/3 off the wall out there at 420. No stride, and he's thinking he's got it. And why wouldn't you? He crushed that thing. And now reality steps in, and he realizes it's only going to be a 3-bagger. And in the end, I mean, he just crawls into third base. He got a mistake and took full advantage of it.
And now Wilson Ramos, National League All-Star catcher, along with Buster Posey this year. And he is 1 for 2. He doubled and scored a run in the 4th inning. And that triple by Murphy right after Dave Righetti visited with Samardzija at the mound. 2 runs in, 3-1. The Nationals are leading.
Got some impressive at bats in this inning. And really what has done Samardzija in is the fastball. He's elevated it, and they've jumped on it.
Daniel Murphy's first hit of the game. His 5th triple this year. 76 run batted in.
Good curveball there. Take a look at the location with the fastball challenge. I mean, that is T-ball location. That is right there below the belt, middle of the plate. And for a guy who's been as locked in as Murphy, that's just something you cannot do with an open base.
Gillespie. And the inning is over. The Nationals get 2 more, and they lead 3-1, last of the 5th.
Area is brought to you by the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Submerge yourself at MontereyBayAquarium.org/love. Max Scherzer now working with the lead. He's gotten through some difficulties in both the third and fourth innings. The Giants had runners at second and third, one out. And their third and fourth place hitters coming up, but he got through that. And then a one-out single in the fourth inning, but then he got his strikeout pitch working. So now he's got a 3-1 lead. And Samardzija 0-1. Samardzija was the first strikeout victim of the game. 0-2.
Hard slider.
Bernard Span is on deck, and then Angel Pagan due up third in the inning.
Slider coming at him again. So a 3-pitch see ya. Well, NBC Bay Area investigates to hold the powerful accountable, and now it's expanding its resources to help solve your consumer problems. Introducing NBC Bay Area Responds, a new team dedicated to investigating your consumer complaints and returning your money. Contact 1-888-996-TIPS or visit NBCBayArea.com/responds. Every call, every email will be answered. NBC Bay Area, we investigate.
And that is a curve for a strike to Bernard Span, who's flied out to left. And then he hit the ground ball right up the first baseline, that hit the bag and hopped high up over the head of Robinson. A break for the Giants, but they were not able to take advantage of it. Along the left field line, but there is Worth.
Well, Scherzer seems to be in the best rhythm that he's been in all night as he attempts to put up a shutdown inning.
He averaged 18 pitches per inning in the first four. The Giants were doing a great job of working him and building up his pitch count, but he's thrown 5 pitches to get 2 outs quickly here in this inning. He has not retired Pagan so far. Pagan has walked and doubled against him. On 1. Dodgers still leading 3-0 over Arizona. They're in the top of the 7th inning now in LA. Kenta Maeda has shut out the D-backs into the 7th down there. Giants trailing here 3-1 in the 5th. On 2. Cincinnati and San Diego with a 4-0 lead in the top of the 4th inning. Red Sox are playing out here on the West Coast in Anaheim, holding a 4-2 lead in the last of the 6th at Angel Stadium. 0-2 to Pagan. 1-2. Did you see how that game ended in Anaheim last night? Did you see a video of that?
I did not.
With the bases loaded and 1 out, with a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 9th, there was a ground ball to Hanley Ramirez at first, and he threw it high over the catcher's head to the backstop, and 2 runs scored. Game over. Angels won it. There's the ball inside.
Well, we didn't see that kind of play from Hanley Ramirez when the Giants faced him in Boston.
He looked like a Gold Glover.
He looked like he had 2 Gold Gloves. Picked everything.
And he made a throw in a big moment of the second game, and made a throw to the plate for a tag play for an out. There is Revere, and he catches up to it. The Giants do not get a base runner for the first time in this game. 10-pitch inning for Scherzer. Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital and Trauma Center. Go to ZSFGcare.org. Texas over Kansas City 8-3. Rougned Odor had a couple of home runs. Tampa Bay over the Yankees 5-1. Back of Jake Odorizzi. Detroit pounding Houston. 5 home runs in that game. 14-6. Minnesota over the White Sox 2-1. Toronto beat Baltimore. The Blue Jays are closing in on the top spot now in the American League East. Only a half game back of the Orioles, as Jeff Samardzija has a count of 0-1 to Jason Worth, who has walked and singled home a run. Pretty good looking pitch there, and he took it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Red Sox 4-2 over the Angels. They're in the top of the 7th. The Cubs this afternoon just annihilated Seattle 12-1 at Wrigley Field. Dodgers 3-0 over Arizona, top 7. Colorado another win in their East Coast road trip. That ball is smoked. It's going to hit the bumper of the car out there, and Worth has a double. And these last 3 innings, there have been a lot of hard hit balls like that against Samardzija. The Reds leading San Diego 4-0 last of the 4th. Atlanta beat the Phillies. Milwaukee over the Pirates, and St. Louis 11-6 over Miami. Here 3-1. Washington leading the Giants. That is the 4th extra base hit in the last 2 innings plus 1 batter allowed by Jeff Samardzija.
Yeah, and that's a very important hitter. I mean, you've had a rough inning in the 5th, and that first guy you face in the 6th gets on base, you're right back in the stretch.
Called a strike to the outside.
I mean, he had a stress inning in the 4th, he had a stress inning in the 5th, and now very quickly he's got a runner in scoring position with nobody out. And this is a strikeout situation for Samardzija.
Clint Robinson got credit for a sacrifice bunt with 1 out in the 2nd inning. Flied out to left center his last time. Officially 0 for 1. Worth at 2nd, nobody out. And the ball is not often going where he wants it to go right now for these last couple of innings.
And I think the point you make about the ball not going where he wants it to go is a comment about his delivery out of the stretch.
In right field, Joe Panic throws out Robinson, moving Worth over to 3rd. Some excellent situational hitting there. 1 out, runner at 3rd, and let's check in with Amy G.
All right, John, yesterday the Giants announced that they had to place left-handed reliever Josh Osich on the disabled list. They called up Matt Reynolds, and he spoke to the media today, calling his career a very interesting journey. He found himself out of a job earlier this spring when the Diamondbacks had to release him. Said it gave him a lot of time to reflect on what it was exactly he wanted to do with his baseball career, and then he heard from the Giants in June and decided to continue with it. Said he's really glad to be here. Of course, he played with the Rockies and the Diamondbacks against the Giants, and said they got beat up a lot, so he's really glad to put the orange and black on and be on a team that wins. He also said that he's just excited to join this group of guys. He knows it's a winning club and he wants to contribute. Gentlemen.
All right, Amy, thank you. And Matt Reynolds, 10 1/3 scoreless innings, pitching for both AA Richmond and AAA Sacramento. Giants infield in with a runner at 3rd, and Rendon at the plate.
Talk about the windup that Samardzija has. He's got a big upper body turn, a lot of timing mechanisms to keep him back, and it's working. And we saw him pretty much be very consistent down around the knees of the fastball. Once he gets into this stretch, he can't have the big upper body turn because it's too slow to the plate.
Right up the middle. That was a breaking ball that hung right out over the plate and up, and it is now 4-1 Washington as Worth comes in to score.
The motion and delivery out of the stretch is different. He doesn't have the same timing mechanisms that he has out of the windup, and subsequently it's causing him to miss up. And when he's missed up out of the stretch, the Washington Nationals have made him pay.
And Amy G was just telling the story of Matt Reynolds, and he takes the jacket off, and Matt Reynolds heads down to the bullpen now.
We're in the 6th inning. And in these last 3 innings, the Nationals have had 7 hits and scored 4 runs. They've had 4 extra base hits in these 3 innings. There's only 1 out in this, the 3rd of those innings. Defoe, foul right behind Davey Lopes, the first base coach. Billy Hayes' brother. Okay, what do you think?
Well, yeah, pretty good effort right there for Brian Hayes, Billy Hayes' brother.
And he's a southpaw.
He's looking at the Giants dugout too to see if his big brother's looking at him. Well, he didn't make a clean play, so he's going to take some heat from Billy Hayes. That I can promise you.
There goes the runner. And it's a steal for Rendon.
Steal number 12 on the year for Rendon, and another good pitch to steal off of. Trevor Brown hasn't gotten a lot of help with pitches that have been in the dirt.
One ball, 1 strike to Defoe. Defoe got his 3rd major league hit, his 1st of this year, when he doubled leading off the 5th inning, and that started a 2-run rally. First extra base hit in his very young big league career. He's only had 13 big league at bats going back to last year. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Wilmer Defoe, D-I-F-O, from the Dominican Republic. And he was only hitting .255 in the minor leagues this year, and playing in Double-A. Although a .278 lifetime minor league average. Joe Panic, and he got him on a step with Rendon over to 3rd.
If you get to Double-A, first of all, if you sign a professional contract, you're playing professional baseball, you can play. If you get to Double-A ball and you play there for a while, those are guys that, if they have success even at the big league level, you really shouldn't be surprised. They're professional players.
Two down, Max Scherzer. 4-1, the Nationals are leading. They've scored in each of the last 3 innings. Now, after Scherzer, 3 straight left-handed hitters would be due up, and the Giants have the left-hander. Reynolds getting ready in their bullpen, so Samardzija wants to get this out. 0-2 to count. Bryce Harper in the hole with Revere on deck. 2 down. Samardzija did not allow any hits in the first 3 innings. That was a check swing foul. 2 strikes to Scherzer. 97 pitches thrown by Samardzija in these first 6 innings. In some ways, this game starts to look like any number of other games that Samardzija has thrown in the last 3-4 weeks. Battling himself almost as much as the other team. And the high fastball for the strikeout. But another run. The Nationals lead 4-1 with Panic, Crawford, and Brandon Belt coming up.
Toyota's cool deal summer event is back. Hurry into your local Toyota dealer before deals melt away. Toyota, let's go places. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Giants baseball on NBC Bay Area and the Giants television network, and the Washington Nationals with a 4-1 lead. More of the same for Jeff Samardzija, and again 3 very strong innings for Samardzija. No hits allowed. And then in the 4th inning, Ramos hit a double, and Worth followed it up with a great battle, and Worth hit a single to not get a run. And then they got 2 more in the 5th, another in the 6th. As Trey Turner has come on to replace Daniel Murphy at second base. And Mike, when Murphy slowed up running out his triple, even though it looked like, hey, that's an easy triple and he's just going to trot the rest of the way to third, maybe something happened.
Well, I have to believe something did happen, because he's not going to come out of a ball game that's a 4-1 score.
Joe Panik leads off against Max Scherzer. Ball 1 in the dirt. Top of the 7th down in LA on the out-of-town scoreboard. The D-backs have scored a run. It's 3-1 LA. They've gone to Joe Blanton out of their bullpen in relief of Kenta Maeda. Panik pops it up foul and out of play. Panik is grounded into a double play and popped up to third. And he has not been on base yet since coming off the disabled list yesterday. He's 0 for 6.
There's an Angel Pagan fan. You can just tell.
What is it that you see that I'm not seeing? A pop up. And look out. Look out. And Rendon hangs on to it. He got submarined out there by young Defoe and held on to it after he rolled over a couple of times.
Just a little sign that these guys haven't played a lot together. I mean, you're coming over there. I mean, Defoe's got to see that Rendon's right in front of him. I mean, that's Defoe should peripherally be able to see that there's a guy that he needs to steer clear of. I know you have concentration of the ball, but Rendon's not going to be able to see anybody behind him. So this could have been a lot worse than what it was. But Defoe a little too overzealous there. That should never happen.
Well, Brandon Crawford fouled out of play. That's quite a play by Rendon. Defoe would have got a yellow card.
Oh, absolutely.
A soccer game.
Illegal. It's been a night in the box right there.
Matt Reynolds is up in the Giants bullpen again. Crawford has grounded out to short and to first. He's 0 for 2. There, he played that one off the sidewall very cleanly.
Let's go, Brian.
And there's his brother Bill, Giants first base coach. And that's all for Crawford. And suddenly, in these, well, it really happened after Gillespie's 1-out single in the 4th inning. And since then, Scherzer has retired 7 in a row, and 4 of them on strikeouts. Two down, nobody on. Here's Brandon Belt. Belt is lined out to second, flied out to right center. 3 infielders play to the right of second against him. Scherzer had a 10-pitch 5th inning. And the whole pitch count thing that was real top heavy through 4 innings is coming down rather quickly. 1-1, 95 miles an hour right by him.
Yeah, he's picked up his rhythm, and it shows on just about everything he's throwing up there. Nice finish and nice command of what he's featuring all 4 pitches.
Two and 1 now to Brandon Belt. We never got one of those Jeffrey Leonard 2 flat down caps, did we?
The Northwoods cap? Well, I don't know, John. I may have taken yours too.
Oh. Well, Jeffrey, of course, would only wear one flap down.
And that was a great commercial when he was advertising for that promo. Jeffrey 2 flaps down Leonard. It made us laugh.
Well, a lot of people who were there, who were here that night to get those caps with the flaps on them, putting them to good use tonight. 2-2 the count to Brandon Belt. Connor Gillespie on deck, hoping to bat. And it's a full count now. Brandon Belt, who's hit much better since the team has gotten home, at 11 home runs overall this year. 3-2 the count. Back, Revere, right at the wall. 8 in a row retired by Scherzer. On to the 7th. The top of the order is coming up. To catch more Giants baseball in your area by tuning into NBC Bay Area on Channel 11 over the air or on Xfinity Cable 3 and 703. Check it out and tell a friend. August 26th, 4 weeks from now, will be our next NBC Bay Area telecast. 4-1 the score. The Brandon Belt fans disappointed there. Belt hit one pretty well out there to center field. Now Matt Reynolds makes his Giants debut. Top of the order for the Nats, and he throws a called strike to Ben Revere.
The career numbers for Matt Reynolds: 5-5, a couple of saves, almost a strikeout an inning. He's a big guy, 6'5", 240 pounds, 31 years of age. Originally broke in with the Rockies, also spent some time in the Arizona organization at the big league level. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup guy. You'll see him in the high 80s, occasional 90. Nice high 3/4 release. He's always been a bullpenner once he got to the big league level. Always been a National Leaguer. So Matt Reynolds, welcome to San Francisco.
There's Pagan, shallow left, in fair ground, and Revere is out number 1. He is now 1 for 3 plus a walk. He's been on base twice. And here comes Bryce Harper. Reynolds
after the Giants signed him. Started out at Double-A Richmond and then moved to Triple-A Sacramento. 5 1/3 scoreless innings at Richmond with 7 strikeouts and no walks, and then 5 shutout innings at Sacramento with 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. So 10 1/3 innings. He only allowed 3 hits and 1 walk and had 14 strikeouts. So he's been pitching well. At the moment, the Giants brought him up.
Well, he's been here before. I mean, over 4 years experience at the big league level. He's still pumped up right now. But you know you're going to get strikes out of him. And with the 4 pitches that he can feature, I mean, he's a guy that can get both righties and lefties out. He's ideal to be, you know, first lefty in or even a long guy.
Out of play. 1-1 now to Harper, who has lined out to first, grounded out to second, and flied out to shallow left. 0 for 3.
Out of Austin Peay State University. From St. Charles, Illinois. Former 20th round pick by the Rockies. No good pitch.
2-1. Harper and Reynolds have faced in the big leagues just one time, and Reynolds got him out.
The lamped up. That breaking ball is just not being given enough time to break. He's kind of overthrowing it right now. You understand him, but he's pumped. Definitely an adrenaline game for Reynolds.
Back in the big leagues, back in the show. And out of play. 3-2. Not Daniel Murphy, but Trey Turner out on deck for the Nats, who lead 4-1. We're in the 7th. There's Trey Turner. We'll hope to get word from the Nationals clubhouse about what happened with Daniel Murphy. Wow.
Good pitch.
That's a walk for Bryce Harper. Could have been strike 3.
You know, it's a reputation that umpires get. I mean, players will label a guy. He's an umpire that doesn't like to ring guys up. And some guys are that way. And that's the reputation Hudson has.
And heading for second is Harper, and he'll make it. That one really got away from Matt Reynolds. Ball 1 to Turner.
Yeah, it looked like a fork ball or something that just really squirted out of his hand. Just hits Trevor Brown low in the thumb as he's going across his body on a high backhand. It would have been a pretty good play if Brown had been able to pull that off. He's probably ticked off he didn't make the play, but still a 90-foot mistake.
So a wild pitch takes away the double play. There's a called strike now to Turner. 1-1. The Giants with more action in the bullpen. Arizona, meanwhile, 3 runs home in the 7th inning to tie the game with the Dodgers. And they are still batting with the bases loaded. The tying run actually scored on a bases loaded walk to Ricky Weeks Jr. Ooh. He fooled him.
Good changeup. Now he's got 4 pitches he'll throw out you, and he'll throw them anytime.
Dodgers 2 games back of the Giants. Colorado now almost back to 500, and they've been piling up the wins on an East Coast trip. In 3rd place. Brandon Crawford looks over at 3rd, but he'll throw out Turner, who's a very fast runner at 1st. So Harper moves to 3rd, 2 down. And the cleanup hitter Wilson Ramos comes up. Ramos is 1 for 3. His one hit was a double in the 4th inning, and that started a rally. He scored the Nationals' first run of the game. And the game is stopped here now as
A fan has come running onto the field. The ballpark security has apprehended the person, and they're escorting him off the field. Bruce Bochy, meanwhile, is coming out. And Bochy, with Wilson Ramos, the right-handed hitter, coming up, is going to go to the bullpen for Hunter Strickland, the right-hander, with 2 down and a runner at third. 4-1 the score. The Nationals leading the Giants, and we'll be right back. After every regular season Giants telecast on CSN Bay Area, authentic Bay Area sports. We're in the 7th inning. A runner at third for the Nationals, and 2 down, and the cleanup hitter, the All-Star Wilson Ramos, at the plate. And Hunter Strickland's job, get Ramos out. Don't let this run score. The Giants are already trailing by 3. Off the glove. Belt to Strickland in time.
It's a great play.
And Ramos just does not have any speed. And the Giants were able to get him just barely. Gillespie, Blanco, Trevor Brown coming up.
Spencer Strickland and several of his Giants teammates shut down cancer with their friend Rick Carone. This is a very special story, gentlemen. Rick has been battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer for 3 years, which is a miracle in and of itself. He's crazy inspiring, and he goes around to major league ballparks and takes BP to help raise money for cancer research. He took on Bam Bam Mullins in a simulated game and beat him. If you'd like to learn more about the cause and how you can donate, go to #ShutDownCancer. 2nd year in a row, guys.
All right, great story. Thanks, Amy G. Now the Giants trailing 4-1, trying to play catch up. And Gillespie, that's a foul. Connor Gillespie has not yet been retired by Max Scherzer, as Brian Hayes got another one out there.
Hey, he's getting all the plays. Mike Williams over on the third base side, our ball dude. He needs a ground ball or two. Here's Mike.
Gillespie has doubled and singled.
That's a good changeup right there.
It's 0-2.
I mean, what sells a great changeup is arm action. And when you have identical arm action to that of the fastball, especially when the guy's throwing mid to high 90s like Scherzer is, that's just a rough combo. There you see Arizona taking the lead. They did it on an infield single with the bases loaded.
Michael Bourne and Goldschmidt's coming up now with the bases loaded and 2 down. 1-2. Connor Gillespie hitting .273 for the year with his 2-hit night. Giants have not had anybody reach base since Gillespie's 1-out single in the 4th inning. 8 in a row retired by Scherzer since then, including 4 on strikeouts. That is a foul ball.
And those 4 strikeouts you're talking about were all swing and miss strike threes. Prior to that 1-out single in the 4th inning, Scherzer only had 1 strikeout, and that was a called strikeout on Jeff Samardzija. So we talk about how Scherzer has found a rhythm as this game has rolled on, and it's proof of it. About the 4th inning, about halfway through it, he kicked into another gear.
So Gillespie hanging tough.
Yeah, we have to get you one of those hats, John.
That's totally me.
Well, you live out at Moss Beach, and you could wear that thing about 300 days a year. It's a good look.
Time taken.
You know, that's one of those hats too, when you put on, you just start laughing.
2-2 the count. And another foul. And a fan in the second deck, second row with his glove, stood up, made the catch.
That's a good play. Got some talent in the stands, I got to tell you. There's Statler and Waldorf. Happy as can be.
Two and 2. A broken bat. And Trey Turner throws him out. And Gillespie is retired for the first time.
Well, follow Giants Baseball live with the MLB.com @bat app. You can stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day. Live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. So download MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and your tablet. We swear by it.
Paul Goldschmidt just hit a 3-run double down in LA against Pedro Baez. And now it is 7-3 Arizona. They scored 7 runs in that 7th inning. There's the posting on the handoff rated scoreboard here at AT&T Park. Derek Law heads down to the bullpen. Gregor Blanco has singled home a run and struck out in this game. 2-0. Showed bunt on the first pitch and took it for a ball. Now it's 2-0. Trevor Brown on deck. Scherzer's thrown 103 pitches in the game, working in the 7th. That's low. He bluffed the bunt again. 3-0.
Taken all the way. As you should if you're Blanco and you have a 3-0 count, your team's down by 3 runs.
Giants have 5 hits against Scherzer. He's walked 1. Now 3-2. Gregor Blanco's had 6 hits in 12 career at-bats against Max Scherzer. And he gets a walk.
Good at bat. Never moved the bat from his shoulder. Saw such pitches. And with that walk, now all of a sudden you've got action with Blake Trinan and Oliver Perez.
Blanco now 6 hits, 12 at bats, and 2 walks. He's been on base 8 times in 14 career plate appearances against Scherzer. Trevor Brown is flied out deep to center and struck out. First bullpen activity of the night for the Nats. In the dirt. Gloved by Ramos.
That's a good play by Ramos.
Ramiro Pena, with the pitcher due up next, has come out on deck. There is Eduardo Nunez. He's got a bat as well. That's a called strike to Trevor Brown. And Buster Posey's got a bat and a helmet.
All hands on deck right now. Everybody who's not a starter in this game got a bat and a helmet. Had an interesting conversation with Steve Decker, the Giants assistant hitting coach, the other day about how guys get ready to pinch hit. He says they'll go in there and they'll pretty much do the routine that they do prior to a game. They'll do some tee work, they'll do some soft toss. Everybody has their own way of getting ready. They'll take some swings off of the curveball machine. They'll take some swings off the fastball machine. I says, is it possible for a guy to come into a game cold as a pinch hitter? He goes, no, impossible. There's Sergeant Decker.
Ooh, got him to chase out of the strike zone. Second straight time that Brown has struck out on a pitch like that. 6 strikeouts now for Scherzer. And Ramiro Pena is set up to bat for Hunter Strickland. The Giants are trailing 4-1 in the last half of the 7th. 2 down. Pena hitting .302. He's had 86 big league at bats this year with a homer, a triple, and 6 doubles. .333 on base average. Blanco at first. And the curve is off the outside. Pena has never before batted in a big league game against Max Scherzer until right now. That's smoked into the Washington bullpen.
Got a man there. Let's take a look at a bullet. Not a problem. Got my mask on, got my shin guards on. Bring it.
Fortunately, Blake Trinan did not throw a pitch at the same time. He turned around and turned his back on him.
That would have been bad.
Off the leg of the umpire. Otherwise, Blanco would have been on his way to second.
Yeah, this is a bad break for the Giants. This cost them 90 feet. The ball was by Ramos. It's right on the right leg of Marvin Hudson. Not a whole lot Hudson could do. I mean, he's getting his foundation set up to call balls and strikes, but that's a bad break. It's a 90-foot bad break.
That's a spot where a base hit
Could mean a run if he goes to second. That ball had gone through to the backstop. 2-2 now to Pena. But as you say, what's Marvin Hudson supposed to do about it?
No, it's not like you can think to move your foot. He's sort of 94.
He's trying to make a judgment on a pitch and expecting the catcher's going to knock it down, because they usually do. 2-2. 2 down. High fly ball to center. And Revere ends the inning. So that's 7 strong, turned in by Scherzer. He's thrown 116 pitches. He may be finished. We go to the 8th. 4-1 Washington.
By the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Submerge yourself at MontereyBayAquarium.org/love. Share the love. I love the Monterey Bay Aquarium. That's a great place.
It's a magical place. And you get to sort of go under the sea, and you don't have to get wet.
No, you don't.
Derek Law, first pitch called strike to Jason Worth. On 1 now. Derek Law has become I think a real trusted member of that Giants bullpen.
Well, he has opened up the eyes around the National League. I mean, he has very quietly really found his confidence, and he's a guy who's got 4 pitches. He can strike out with all of them. Mid-90s fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, just like that. You don't see the high 3/4 over the top release and the acute break like he has. I mean, it really does remind you of Tim Lincecum. Now, he calls that a slider. He puts 3 fingers on the ball, but he is right over the top. I mean, it's coming at you at 12 o'clock, and it drops straight off the table.
Clint Robinson. The Giants go into the overshift. 3 infielders now to the right side of second. In there for a strike with the harder slider.
You know, we go around the league and we eat dinner in the cafeteria, this where the broadcasters go, and the scouts also eat in the same place, and we get asked about Derek Law a lot.
Left-hander Oliver Perez warming up in the Washington bullpen as Max Scherzer talks with the pitching coach Mike Maddox. That one ended up in the dirt for strike 3, and Trevor Brown throws out Robinson.
So 2 straight strikeouts for Law.
There's the night for Scherzer. 7 innings, 5 hits allowed, a couple of walks, 6 strikeouts, just 1 earned run. And that was the run that the Giants scored off of back in the 2nd inning with 2 outs. Gregor Blanco was the only little blip on his scorecard.
2 down. Here's Anthony Rendon, and he singled home a run back in the 6th inning. It's sharply knocked down, picked up, Panic's throw in time. He had to hurry the ball over there, and Brandon Belt did the rest. Coverage on Sportsnet Central every night at 10:30. CSN Authentic Bay Area Sports. AT Park. And the hometown 9 is trailing 4-1 to the Washington Nationals. Last of the 8th inning. The top of the batting order coming up with the Giants, and the Nationals have gone to their bullpen. Max Scherzer is indeed finished for the night. And there is the veteran lefty, Oliver Perez.
Take a look at the year that Perez has. 36 strikeouts in 30 innings. He's got a fastball that'll go low to mid-90s. And he's got some funkiness to him. Really a 2-pitch guy. Fastball, slider, go get him. But that doesn't tell you the whole story. He'll give you some different looks with his motion. And he will quick pitch you.
Max Scherzer went 7, allowed 1 run, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts, a couple of walks, and Sergio Romo getting ready in the Giants bullpen. Meanwhile, we're in the last half of the 8th. There's the bunt. That's a good one. Rendon not in time. And let's see if Span is okay. Dave Gressner, the Giants trainer, is going to come out, see if he can be of some help.
Oh, he was getting down that line well. I don't know if it was the bag when he stepped on first base that caused him to lose his footing. A desperation throw. It looks like he tweaked his right ankle a little bit when he hit the bag.
Well, he hit the knee of Robinson. Watch the knees. Hit the left knee of Robinson.
Really, it was a throw that Rendon really should not have made. Yeah, you're right. It may have been left knee to left knee. It appears to be okay. That's one guy they cannot afford to lose.
Wow, the Dodgers have just like that tied up that game. After the D-backs had a 7-run 7th inning, the Dodgers have scored 4 in the last of the 7th. And they're still batting. And that breaks in there for a called strike to Pagan, who has walked, doubled, and lined out to center. He's thrown the bat well tonight. He's had a good night at the plate. Nobody out, runner aboard. The Giants need base runners, down by 3 runs. Hangs up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Play Pagan's pretty much straight away in the outfield. And deeper in left field with Worth. Pretty shallow with Harper in right field. And pretty straight away in the infield.
Jock Peterson and Chase Utley have each hit 2-run homers in that 7th inning rally for LA. The Giants would like to have some late inning fireworks of their own here. They need them. Giants are feeling a sense of urgency to get it going again. That's in the dirt.
Break a ball, break a ball, break a ball. That's all that Pagan is seeing from Perez. Joe Panic getting ready.
Perez came into last night's game in the 9th inning in relief of Jonathan Papelbon. Faced 3 hitters. Back to the screen. Perez threw 14 pitches in 1/3 of an inning. He walked 1. Then there was a ground ball in which an error was committed, and then finally he struck out Denard Span for the 2nd out of that night, before giving way to Sean Kelly. The Nationals have more action in their bullpen right now. Blake Trinan, the right-hander, is warming up. Pagan, a little flare, falling in there, base hit.
So again, the breaking ball from Perez, and it kind of runs up the bat of Pagan, but he got enough of it to get it over the head of Defoe, the shortstop, and it winds up being a thing of beauty. And when you're down 3 runs, now all of a sudden you get the tying run stepping in, and there's nobody out.
3rd time tonight that Pagan's been on base, and Buster Posey has been set up there right now as the pinch hitter for Joe Panic. So Buster is coming up against Perez, and the Nationals are killing time now. Well, Trinan's ready. They also just got a left-hander up, so they'll be killing time to help get that left-hander going. And here comes Dusty Baker now. Sammy Solis, the left-hander who just started throwing. After Buster, you've got a string of left-handed hitters, 4 in a row. So Buster finds out a little bit about Blake Trinan.
Well, we're assuming that Dusty Baker's going to make that move, and he finally does.
Well, Trinan had to be ready, but he'd been up in the previous inning, been up for a while in this inning. 2 men on, nobody out. Posey coming up, Trinan coming in. We'll be right back. trying to mount a comeback against the Washington bullpen. Blake Trinan, the right-hander in, probably just for one batter. It's Buster Posey, the pinch hitter. The left-hander Solis getting ready in the bullpen.
There you see the numbers for Blake Trinan, 46th time that he's coming in, and his job is to come in and get a ground ball. He's a sinker baller with a good slider. You don't often see sinker ballers that have just about a strikeout an inning, but Trinan does. So he can get you both the ground ball and the strikeout. There's the target for Buster Posey.
And that's snapped in there for a called strike.
Well, he showed him his breaking ball, so he did him a favor on the first pitch.
Posey has seen Trinan before and has never had a hit against him. Buster 0 for 6 lifetime against Trinan. Span at second, Pagan at first. And there it is again. 0-2.
Well, he's not looking for the curveball. He's up there looking for that sinker. And Trinan just took advantage of it. One thing we know about Posey is he will guess, and then he will also guess in 2 strike counts.
2 men on, nobody out. Brandon Crawford on deck. And the catcher asked for time out there. Wilson Ramos. And now Trinan wants to talk to him. Trinan 6 feet 5 inches tall, out of South Dakota State University. He was a 7th round draft choice of the Oakland Athletics back in 2011. On 2 to Buster. And that was a nice block by Wilson Ramos to keep those runners right where they were.
Well, that's important when you have a sinker baller and a guy can get you a ground ball on a double play. You keep that force in order. So this is a great play. That's a scud. That thing bounced well out in front of home plate, and you don't know how high that ball is going to come up on you. Ramos has done a good job behind the plate tonight.
One ball, 2 strikes. Another one in the dirt. Another scud.
He has no idea how he caught that one. And again, it's a significant play because of the type of pitcher that's out there. 2-seamer, scud, and he almost turns his head. Well, he does turn his head on it. I mean, that's just survival mode right there. Happy birthday. Finds his glove.
2-2 the count. He threw 2 perfect breaking balls for strikes and then 2 very wild ones. And that one blocked again. A check swing by Buster. And it's now full count. Span got a big jump away from second base, but the ball did not get past Ramos.
So now with the sinker style of Trinan, and he's just throwing 3 balls in the dirt. You got Posey up there. You're betting on contact. I would be surprised if you don't see the runners go. Good speed with Span at second, Pagan at first.
They're not running. It's ball 4 and back to the screen. A 4th pitch in a row in the dirt. Wow. After he got to a no ball, 2 strike count, 4 straight pitches in the dirt. And the bases are loaded with nobody out. They've got the left-hander ready in the bullpen with a string of lefties, Crawford, Belt, Gillespie. And I think they pretty well know Crawford and Belt will bat. The Giants have Nunez waiting in the wings when Gillespie comes up. But there is Solis, Dusty Baker.
There's going to be a double switch. So he's getting it all sorted out. But that's going to be it for Trinan.
You don't often see a guy get an 0-2 count and then never even come close to the strike zone and never even reach the catcher with a pitch after that.
I'm trying to think if Jeremy Affeldt ever did it.
Wow. Well, Jeremy threw maybe a couple of scuds.
Yeah.
Not four in a row. So Solis comes in. The pitcher is due up second. Meanwhile, Brandon Crawford getting some info from Scouting Report on Solis. We'll be right back. The Giants have the bases loaded and nobody out. The Nationals did not just make a double switch. They made a triple switch. The new pitcher, Sammy Solis. And we saw him in last night's game in the 8th inning, and he did well.
And he's got good stuff. 37 strikeouts and 31 1/3. You're going to see mid to high 90s with velocity on the fastball. Got a 3/4 release. He's got a curveball and a changeup.
Brandon Crawford will be the hitter. Also, Ryan Zimmerman is now at first base. And the third change, there's Zimmerman, number 11, replacing Robinson at first. And Danny Espinosa now at shortstop, replacing Defoe. And I'm assuming that the pitcher, Solis, will be in the 6th spot of the order where Robinson had been. Infield double play depth for Crawford. And it came right after him with a fastball at 93, fouled back into the second deck.
And if you're hitting left-handed against Solis, you're going to see more curveballs as especially pitched than the changeup. He'll throw the changeup more to righties if he's allowed to pitch to a righty. But if you're hitting from the left side, it's pretty much fastball, breaking ball.
The first base caught, double play, and that is a triple play. Denard Span did not realize that the ball did not bounce. He broke on contact, and they turned it into an inning-ending triple play. Now that defies belief.
Ballpark is in a state of shock right now. The bases were loaded with nobody out, and look what happened.
And look at Posey at first base. He may have blocked the view of Span. The one thing you have to have is a sign from the umpire, and Chad Fairchild at first base does indeed give the sign that the ball was caught. There's the high hand right there, and I don't know if Span saw that because he thought the ball had hit the ground, which is why he took off towards home. And he's saying he caught that and he didn't know. He thought he trapped it. He had to run because of the force, and it's a triple play. Wow. And you can see Zimmerman. I mean, he makes the catch. It's clean. Posey's hung out there, and then it's just a matter of Span thinking the ball was trapped and not caught. He had to break. An inning-ending triple play. Oh, man.
Just when we were thinking we'd seen it all. Danny Espinosa with Rendon on deck, and Sergio Romo has taken the mound for the Giants here in the 9th inning.
The numbers for Romo: 7 base runners in 9 innings. Opponents hitting 194. Interestingly, he's doing better against the lefties than the righties.
When Romo came into the game, he was slotted in the 3rd spot in the order, where Posey had pinch hit for Panic, and Eduardo Nunez, just acquired yesterday from the Minnesota Twins, took over at 2nd base. There he is, and Nunez will be in the 9th spot in the order, due up 5th in the next go round. That is drilled down the right field line. It's a foul ball. Wow, that was clobbered.
And Dusty Baker, the reaction on the triple play. One thing about Dusty Baker, I mean, he wears his emotions on his sleeve. He has not changed since 1993, when he first managed in the big leagues with the Giants and with anybody.
All Giants fans have seen those moves before, many times. 1-2 the count to Espinosa, hitting only .223, but he got 18 home runs. Right over to the on deck circle, where Zimmerman is awaiting his turn. Well, Dusty did some brainstorming over there when he brought in Solis, the left-hander, out of the bullpen. He didn't want just a double switch. He wanted a triple switch. You don't see too many triple switches like that. You see some guys in the game who maybe change positions when a move is made, but he brought in 2 position players and a new pitcher. 2-2 the count with that changeup. And Dusty, he didn't want just a hitter for the 9th spot where the pitcher had been. He wanted better hitters in the 8th and 9th spot. He wanted more than just the one new hitter in there. Meanwhile, as if what just happened to the Giants in the 8th inning wasn't bad enough for Giants fans, the Dodgers, after allowing 7 runs in the 7th inning, falling behind 7-3, got 5 runs in the last of the 7th. The Dodgers are now ahead in that game, 8-7. There it is on the hand-operated out-of-town scoreboard here at AT&T Park. The game is in the top of the 8th.
Far from over. That's what I'm going with.
There were 12 runs that scored in that 7th inning. There's a base hit for Espinosa. Here's Ryan Zimmerman. Well, I've seen a lot of triple plays over the years, and I've seen some truly bizarre triple plays. I've seen unassisted triple plays, which are the rarest of them all. This could be a double play. Gillespie to second one. Nunez to first. Two, a double play.
That's how you introduce yourself to your new teammates. Eduardo Nunez making a nice pivot at second. Sergio Romo enjoys it.
And second base is where he's been playing the least of his time this year.
Well, he turned out like he plays it every day. He's got a good arm too. I mean, he really has 5 tools. Very fast. Got a little pop in his bat. Got 26 stolen bases and 12 home runs. But he's got a cannon for an arm.
Ball 1 to Ben Revere. Giants had not hit into a triple play in 7 years. September of 2009 at Milwaukee. Aaron Rowand hit into a triple play. Casey McGee at third to Lopez at second, the fielder at first, and around the horn triple play. I once did a triple play in Oakland when I was doing the Texas Ranger games on a bunt. And nobody knew that the plate umpire said that the bunt was caught. It was a little pop-up. Everybody thought it bounced, including the guy who fielded it. They didn't have video replay in those days.
Yeah, no replay.
To overturn a call. So the runners, there were 2 runners, they just kept running. And the third baseman, knowing he had not caught the ball, not knowing that it was called a catch, hurriedly threw the ball to second to try and start a double play, threw it into center field. And now you had 3 runners just running and racing around the bases. The center fielder, the shortstop knew, Dave Chalk, Tony Armas, the center fielder, saw Chalk screaming at him, so he threw it to second. He didn't know why he was throwing to second. Chalk stepped on second. Okay, that's the second out. There was nobody at first. Tony Armas ran in from center field to first base. Chalk threw over to him, triple play. From the third baseman to the center fielder to the shortstop to the center fielder.
That's the first time in history. That, I mean, it has to be the first time in history that's ever happened.
And then the manager got ejected, and at least one of the players got ejected. Bill Kunkel was the plate umpire.
Very first time I did play-by-play, I was with Lon Simmons in Pittsburgh, and I'd never done play-by-play. And in the middle of a game, he goes, well, you need to do play-by-play. You're doing it. So that was it. So that day, in that particular inning, 2 on, nobody out, guy hits into a triple play. And my broadcasting was the worst commentary in the history of baseball about the triple play. And when the inning was over, I looked at him dejectedly thinking, oh, that was horrible. He goes, don't worry. You got the outs right.
All right.
That was it.
It doesn't always work out that way.
You got the outs right.
Past Romo. Crawford. Fast runner. And he got him. Well done by Brandon Crawford. Belt, Gillespie, Blanco. Coming up, last chance. SFN Bay Area at 12:30 tomorrow for Giants pregame live before Game 3 of the series. We'll be back with you on NBC Bay Area and the Giants television network in 4 weeks, Friday, August 26th at 7 o'clock. The Giants and Atlanta from here at AT Park. 4 weeks. And of course, the Giants will be on a daily basis on CSN Bay Area. And of course, on radio, on the Giants can be our radio network. Here is Felipe Rivero. No sign of Jonathan Papelbon in the game here in the 9th inning, nor in the bullpen. They have a right-hander warming up in the bullpen, but it's not Papelbon. It is Sean Kelly.
So Felipe Rivero does have a save on the year. He's in his second year at the big league level. He's a mid to high 90s thrower with the fastball. He's got a slider and a changeup. Over a strikeout in it. He's got good stuff.
0-2, 95 miles an hour. Brandon Belt is lined out to second, flied out to right center, and flied out deep to center. He hit the ball really hard his last time up there, but it didn't go anywhere. Caught on the warning track right near the wall by Revere. Too high. At 96. Connor Gillespie is on deck. The only non-pitcher the Giants still have remaining on the bench is Mac Williamson, an outfielder. Two. There've been a lot of rumors out there about the Nationals and wanting to go out and get an established veteran closer. And there was a report that they would love to get Andrew Miller from the Yankees. Way inside. That almost hit him. 3-2. And there was one story that said that a young, probably their best pitching prospect in the minor leagues, Lucas Giolito, that they would be willing to give him up for Andrew Miller. Mike Rizzo, the GM of the Nationals, he has not said that. 3-2 the count. A story out there anyway. As Belt fouls one back out of play to stay alive. 3-2. But right now the Nationals, it's kind of a wing and a prayer. Right now it's almost like open auditions for the 9th inning. Papelbon came in last night and he retired the first man he faced and gave up a single and a walk, and they took him out. A short leash on him last night. And he had a couple of games earlier this week where he gave it up big time. One in a tie game and one with a 2-run lead. He gave them both up.
Well, it is the one part of their team that takes the most criticism, the bullpen.
That is Turner throwing out Belt, who is 0 for 4 in the game.
This is after the triple play. A historic ball just sort of discarded up into the stands.
Here is Connor Gillespie, who has doubled, singled, and grounded out on a broken bat. Well, I think we found out that Anthony Rendon is not a guy who likes to collect baseball memorabilia.
I mean, just, I don't even think the thought even crossed his mind. Just ho hum. But the fan, it's a nice souvenir to have.
Just another triple play. Popped up. Rendon. So Gillespie is gone. 2 down. The Giants down to their final out. And Gregor Blanco.
Giants, who lost 7 out of 8 on their road trip to San Diego, Boston, and New York to start the post All-Star break portion of the season. And if they lose this game, they'll have lost 4 out of 5 in this first homestand since the All-Star game. And it would make them 2-11. They are trailing 4-1 in the last of the 9th inning.
Well, certainly not the start they had anticipated in the second half of the season.
And that's ball 1 to Blanco.
But there is some good news on the horizon. They've got some help on the way with Hunter Pence. Probably going to be in the lineup tomorrow. That is going to be a huge shot of energy for this club.
1 ball, 1 strike to Blanco. 2 down, nobody on. Rivero got the call on that one. I don't think many out there have been called strikes in this game. Blanco has singled home a run, the only run the Giants have scored. He's also struck out and walked. Base hit.
Die hard. Nice at bat.
So Trevor Brown will come up now. They've got the right-hander Kelly ready in the bullpen, and Dusty Baker's going to go for him. Kelly, who ended up getting the final out last night, he struck out Angel Pagan with the bases loaded in the 9th. And he comes on here with 2 down, a runner at first. Washington ahead 4-1. And we'll be right back. A runner at first, and Sean Kelly, number 27, brought in by Dusty Baker to try and get the final out here. Trevor Brown coming up, and then Eduardo Nunez would be due up after him in the 9th spot in the order.
Look at the strikeout total for Sean Kelly. 59 strikeouts in 38 innings. Tells you what type of stuff he has. It's mid-90s fastball with a hard slider.
59 strikeouts, and he's walked 7. Blanco runs as Brown drives a foul off the right field line into the crowd. 41,959, the paid crowd at AT Park tonight. And a lot of people have vacated. Hunter Pence, who's been playing in rehab assignment. And it's strike 2 with that slider that you're talking about. Pence took batting practice. He put on quite a show during batting practice.
He really did. He hit one ball completely over the bleachers up around the mini AT Park out there above the bleachers, the kids area. Don't see that happen very often.
That's a base hit. Blanco is running on the pitch, and he'll easily make it to third as Worth throws into second. And so the Giants will at least be able to get the possible tying run to the plate here. And it's the player that they just acquired yesterday from Minnesota, Eduardo Nunez.
Yeah, a nice warm welcome from the faithful here. And look at the year that he's having. I mean, the on-base percentage is 225, 296 batting average, 12 home runs, 47 RBIs. He's got 26 stolen bases.
He got his 27th before they traded him yesterday. Leading the American League in steals. And there goes Trevor Brown. They were not holding him. And it's ball one to Nunez.
Well, you want to introduce yourself to your new city, and here's a great opportunity.
Now, Nunez has been in the American League. He was with the Yankees. Giants actually saw him hit a home run against them back in 2013 at Yankee Stadium in an interleague game. And then he was with the Twins, and this year he became more or less an everyday player and made the All-Star team. Off the right field line, foul into the crowd. A ball and a strike. Runners at second and third now.
Yeah, that's a good rally cap right there. Haven't seen that one.
That's two flaps inside out.
Yeah, good look.
Foul on the third base side. It's 1-2. Now Nunez has seen a little bit of Kelly. He's had two big league at bats against him with a hit. So at least he has a little bit of knowledge about Sean Kelly. Blanco at third, Brown at second. Span on deck. In the dirt.
Slider, slider, slider.
Nunez, a fast runner with power. He's been hitting above or around 300 all year long. 2-2. Full count.
Slider, slider, slider. Kelly's got a place to put him, so it's not like he has to challenge him here. There is nobody in that Nationals bullpen, so it's going to be Sean Kelly.
Fans trying to help Nunez do what needs to be done. And not this time. So for the Giants, more frustration. The Nationals have taken the first two games of the series.
Well, it's frustrating too. You get in the eighth inning and you get the bases loaded with nobody out, and all of a sudden, boom, triple play. I mean, maybe that's a sign. Maybe they've bottomed out, because tomorrow they get a shot in the arm. Hunter Pence gets activated, and I don't think it could happen soon enough.
For more on tonight's game, tune in to Sportsnet Central on CSN Bay Area. Tune in to CSN Bay Area tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 for Giants pregame live before Game 3 of the series. And we'll be back with you on NBC Bay Area and the Giants Television Network in 4 weeks, Friday, August 26th at 7 o'clock for the Giants and the Braves from right here at AT&T. Now for Mike Krukow and Amy Gutierrez, Amy G. I'm John Miller. Thanks for tuning in. And now we say good night to you. Washington 4-1 over the Giants.